So this movie is case in point why just because a movie is rated the way it is on Rotten Tomatoes doesn't mean you should let that discourage you from going to see it. I'm telling you, I think Rotten Tomatoes got this one wrong. Hey everyone, and welcome to my review for Godzilla King of the Monsters, starring Kyle Chandler, Vera, Farmiga, I think I'm saying that right, Millie Bobby Brown, Ken Watanabe, Thomas Middleditch, O'Shea Jackson Jr., and a handful of a lot of other people. But hey, you're not really watching this movie for that. You're watching it for the big top dog himself, Mr. Godzilla! So I recently went and saw the new Godzilla King of the Monsters. I actually went on a little bit of a road trip with a buddy of mine. We went down to Davenport, Iowa, which from where I'm at, that's the closest place that we could find an IMAX theater at. And believe me, if you have access to an IMAX, it's the way to go for a movie like Godzilla King of the Monsters. I'm telling you right now, it was impressive. You're probably wondering, why am I wearing a suit right now? This isn't how he normally dresses in his videos. You're right about that, but I was working and I decided to start the week off on a positive note by dressing to impress, I guess, even if it's just myself. And so I just thought, hey, I'll just, change it up a little bit, wear a suit for this, class up the review maybe. I promise you I'm not going to be, well, let me tell you about Godzilla King of the Monsters. Godzilla started in 1954! I have no idea if that information is accurate, probably not, or who that impersonation was. It kind of sounded like a really bad Ian McKellen. It doesn't matter, that's why I'm wearing this, now you know. Godzilla King of the Monsters, what the heck is it about? So the movie picks up after the events of the 2014 one, which is just Godzilla, simply titled. I'm not sure if any of you actually saw that. I was less than impressed with the movie. I know it was supposed to harken back to like the original Godzilla, of how it's, more about the build up to the actual monster than the actual monster itself. Because I think Godzilla in that movie clocks in at like 15-minute screen time, and the rest is just build up and really boring human characters. Going into this new one, I wasn't really sure how to feel because, as I mentioned, I wasn't really a fan of the last one. Not enough Godzilla, too boring human characters, too many boring human characters. It just wasn't really something that I liked or even really wanted to watch ever again, because it was just very forgettable to me. This is definitely not the case for this one. This one I thought was pretty fantastic, if I'm being honest with you, which when am I ever not honest with you? It improved upon so many of the things from the last version of this that we had. One being just more Godzilla. I mean, that's why you're paying to see this, is you want to see big monsters stepping on people, breaking buildings, hitting, smashing other monsters. You get all of that in this movie. So I was very happy about that, and not just to mention Godzilla, but there's just so many more monsters in this. And another little hesitation I had about that was, well, hang on, if there's too many monsters, it's gonna get too bloated and really, really hard to digest, or just it'll lose its focus. Kind of like how Spider-Man 3 had too many villains. This movie didn't do that at all. I actually thought that it balanced all the monsters extremely well, and I was entertained and enthralled by all of them. I think my favorite one on there, I mean, aside from the king himself, Godzilla, I don't know, I really liked Rodan. I'm not even like some really big Godzilla guy, I don't know a ton about it, but Rodan was really cool. I was into that. And then Mothra was absolutely beautiful. People always talk about in big movies like this, the special effects and how great they are, which I think it should go without saying. A movie like this, you're going to be entertained by the visuals. But what I wasn't expecting about it actually was how the monsters are depicted in the movie is, they're referred to a lot as titans, and you really get that scope of them, and then not just the scope, but the pure majesty and beauty that the monsters are. Because as vicious as they can be, and, they can just destroy things without even, so much as batting an eyelash, their beauty in this movie, I was jaw-dropped a couple of times at just how impressed I was at how beautiful all the creatures looked. And I liked how the humans had a thing where they kind of are recognizing that, where they're like, it's not necessarily these things' fault for them being their size and doing what they do, and that there is a beauty to them, and that they are practically gods walking among the earth. Humans in this movie, which this is where Rotten Tomatoes and I are going to be disagreeing quite a bit, I was seeing a lot of reviews saying that the humans were really boring, and that the plot with them was just pretty, just who cares, it doesn't really do much. I couldn't disagree more with that. I thought the humans this time around were much more interesting, for one. It had a great cast, great ensemble casting. I thought everybody killed it. And I actually liked, too, how their plot, to me, figured in a lot more into this movie than it did in the last one. Because in this, I actually felt like they had something to do. This isn't really much of a spoiler, but the movie goes into humans have developed this sort of like pulse signal that they can send out that can, in a way, control the monsters, or at least partially delay what they're going to do. And I thought that plot point was used to effect, and I thought the humans carried it out very well. I thought the action was pretty spot on and superb. Like, all their fights were amazing. I actually loved the look of the movie, which I mentioned the beauty and overall scope of it, but I really liked the color palette this time around. You had a lot of blues and blacks and reds, yellow, a lot of different colors that were used to, I think, the best effect for a movie like this. So everything really popped to me, and it had a really nice, vibrant feel to it. And I think for a movie like this, that's good. I mean, it gets you way more excited, and it's not as drab and dreary as you want it to be, but still kind of flirts with that a little bit. One of my favorite scenes, I think, in this movie was there's a scene where they're underwater in a submarine, and they're trying to track something down in the water, and all of a sudden they're just like, wait a minute, like, sir, like, we're picking up something. And you just see off in the distance, like, you picture my hand as Godzilla right now, you just see him kind of like swimming towards the sub, but his fin and his tail is kind of like lighting up in this blue ambiance, so it's just like, whoa, whoa. Yeah. I don't know how else to describe it other than that, but it's very suspenseful, very creepy, and almost like, an intimidation thing where, you better get out of my way, otherwise, I don't know. I'm going to sum up my final thoughts on this movie because I don't really want to get too much into the plot on it other than what I've kind of mentioned just about the casting and the monsters themselves. Godzilla's got to fight a lot of monsters in this one, and it's really cool. So if you like that, go see it. I don't think this movie is too long. It's like a little over 2 hours. Pretty perfect runtime for a movie like this. Godzilla finally had a chance to shine in an American adaptation for his film. So that was awesome. I thought Godzilla was great. I thought the monsters were balanced well. I thought the casting was spot on and pretty fantastic. I'm going to give Godzilla, King of the Monsters, a B+. I thought it delivered on a lot of stuff. It had a lot better improvements over the last one. It was much more entertaining. I would easily buy this movie on 4K just for the visuals alone. I say you should go see this movie. See it on the biggest screen possible. Take your friends. It's a really good time. It's easily one of my favorite movies of the year. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Thank you for not sucking. I'm very happy about that. I had my doubts, but you didn't suck. You were good. Alright everybody, well, that's going to do it for me, so thank you again very much for watching. I appreciate it very, very much. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done that already. Thank you very much for watching. You are all the best for doing that. Very much appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video.